doing a Vampy V-Day makeup tutorial. So as you can probably already tell, I have my brows on already. I have done my brows so many times in previous videos, so if you do want to see how I've done my brows, just check back to a previous video. But I will tell you what I've used, and I used the Maybelline Brow Satin, and this is in medium brown. And then I set them with the medium brown Maybelline Brow Drama as well. I have also carved out my brows using the Chi Chi Eye Brightener in the matte end. So I just do the bottom part of my brows and I've just blended that out with a small brush. And I have also primed my eyelids, and I've used the NYX eyeshadow base in Skintone as well. Oh, and I also tight lined because it's just a revolting thing to see on camera, I think, sometimes. So I've just done that with a, I think it's the Rimmel Soft Kohl Kajal eyeliner in black. So let's get into it. The look I'm going for today is very sultry, very vamping. It's not traditional Valentine's Day colours, but I kind of thought I would just mix things up a bit. So let's get straight into it. So the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to use today is the Lorac Pro palette, and this is the second one. And we're actually going to be using the navy shade in this palette as our main colour. So first things first, I'm going to set that eye base, and I'm just going to use the buff matte shade in that palette. So just pop that all over the lid. Always we're going to throw in a transition colour, and I'm going to go between the light brown and the cool grey in this palette, and I'm just using a big fluffy brush, and we're going to pop those colours through our crease. And just pinching that brush with those two colours on it and just running that under our lower lash line. So before we go in with our navy on our lid, I'm going to put a Deep Ocean, which is sort of a navy colour. It's a Rimmel Exaggerate Waterproof Eye Definer. I'm going to pop that through the waterline and also on the lower lash line. Using a flat, dense brush, I'm going to pick up the navy shadow, and I'm going to pop that all over the lid to start off with, just with a patting motion, and then I will probably start sort of turning the actual brush onto its side and start blending it up through the sort of crease, so we've got no harsh lines. And just when we're coming out into that outer sort of corner, I'm just sort of bringing it up and sort of winging it out, and then just turning my brush on its sort of side, and I'm going to start bringing the shadow up through to the crease and start blending it out. And pick up the Plum shade as well, and on a really big fluffy brush. I'm going to pat it in there, and I'm going to tap off a lot of the excess, and I'm going to use this shade to help blend out that navy blue. Going back into that very first fluffy brush that we put our transition colours on with, and just blend them out. And then of course going back into the very first brush we used with the cream shadow, just to show that we've highlighted our brow. So don't worry about any of the fallout or cleaning up that outer corner until we're completely finished. And I'm just going to pick up, which shade will I use? I think I'll use the Rose shade, which is the shimmery one here, and put that on the inner corner. And just blend it into the blue. And adding a little bit of that Plum shade on that lower lash line as well. Okay, we will go and do the other eye. done both eyes now, and I'm just going in with that same black eyeliner that I used on my tight line, and I'm just running this very smudgily along that top lash line, just so when we pop our false lashes on, there's a little bit of transition there. And before it's set, I'm just going to use the black in the palette and just set that and smudge that liner out. And I'll pop on some mascara, and I'm using the Lancome Hypnose Doll Eyes Mascara. Now the lashes that I'm using today are just sort of like quarter or corner lashes, so I'm really building up the mascara in that sort of middle to inner part, just so that there's a nice sort of transition from the lashes to the false lashes to my natural lashes. Right, let's clean up some fallout. Micellar water onto a cotton pad. Rightio, let's prime our face. We're going to be using the designer brand's Pore Minimising Primer. Really concentrate on pressing this into the skin, especially where you've got open pores. So while our primer is just sort of working its way into the skin, I'm going to pop my lashes on, and I'm going to be using the Ardell 318s, they're the little corner ones, and using my Modelrock eyelash adhesive. This is the latex free one. Okay, lashes are on, and I was going to add just a little bit of extra something. And I'm going to use this e.l.f. Long Lasting Lustrous Eyeshadow. Now this is in the colour Festivity, and it's sort of like a purpley, sparkly sort of shadow, and I just wanted to pop that sort of just on the ball of the eye, just to add a little bit of glamour, I guess, without it being too over the top. I'm just going to pop some on my ring finger, and then just pop it in the middle of the eye. Just pat it on. Forgot to dampen my beauty blender, but I figured I would just mix things up and use a brush instead. So to apply my foundation today, I'm going to use a Models Prefer, what is this? An airbrush foundation brush. I really like these brushes, and I'm going to be using the designer brand's Longwear 24-hour foundation, and I am in the shade Nude Beige. Now I am going to fast forward through this because you've all seen me put my foundation on before. There's nothing new happening. Okay, so my card was completely full, so I had to delete a whole heap of stuff off of it, but I've just blended that foundation into my face. Now I'm just going to correct any dark circles. When you're using like really dark colors, and especially blue and purple tones around your eyes, it's really going to exacerbate any blue and purple tones that you actually have on your face. So I'm going to correct them first with the NYX Dark Circle Concealer in medium, and pop that sort of right where I am really dark today, which is showing up even more because of those dark blue and purple toned shadows. So just patting that in, and using the Rimmel Wake Me Up Concealer in Ivory and the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in Sand, just to conceal and brighten the rest of my face. Blending all of that in with the Models Prefer Airbrush Concealer Brush. You can set, that's a new word, conceal and set my under eye area. I'm actually going to use MAC Emphasize, which I have in a Z palette here. So just using that on an angled Real Techniques setting brush and just patting that under that under eye area to start off with, just so that that does not move, it does not crease. And then just going in and setting the other areas that we sort of highlighted and set, concealed. It's a very light dusting of the Rimmel Lasting Finish Powder Foundation in Silky Beige, just all over the rest of my face. Just using a large Real Techniques Bold Metals powder brush. To add a little bit of warmth back to my face, I am going back into that Z palette, and I've got the Too Faced Sun Bunny bronzer here. So just putting that on a big duo fibre brush, just mixing those two colours together and just sort of blending it into the perimeters of my face, just to warm my skin up. So a little bit more multi-dimensional. Very, very gently contour, and I think I'll use the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer, or Chocolate Soleil, on a Zoeva, what is this, Luxe Face paintbrush. Just very gently doing it sort of near the ears there and onto my cheekbones, and then just on the temples. I'm barely picking up any product and barely touching my skin because I want it really just sort of hazy. Now, highlight is a whole different area, and I'm actually going to use just a mixture of these two here. So this is Too Faced Candlelight Glow, and this one is the Balm's Merry Lemonizer. Just back on that same sort of angled setting brush, just mixing those two together and putting it on the tops of my cheekbones. Just blending it around to where my ear is. Tips of the nose, bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow. And just picking up a touch of the Merry Lemonizer and just having it very gently onto that inner corner of my eye. Now, one thing that I always do once I've sort of done all the I'm mixing all the words up together today, aren't I? The face sort of powder and that kind of stuff, is I always just go back in with that brush that I put the transition sort of colours on, and I just take off as much of the excess as I can on my tissue and just sort of run it around the sort of the perimeters, just so that we haven't created any harsh lines with powders, foundation, concealer, any of that kind of stuff. Blush, I am using my Too Faced Love Flush Your Love Is King blush, and I'm going to use just a Real Techniques brush. Now this has got a fair bit of pigment in it, as you can see. I'm going to tap off the excess, and I am just very, very lightly patting it. Not sweeping, I'm just patting it, so that I don't get too much intensity too quickly. Just wedging it between the contour slash bronzer and the highlighter. I'm just flipping the brush over to the other side. Lips, last thing to do. Now, I don't believe in any rules. You can do eye, dark eye. You don't always have to do a light lip, but I just thought I would play it up and sort of bring in those same sort of purpley tones. So I am going to line with just a natural sort of coloured lip liner, and this is just the Rimmel Exaggerate Natural Lip Pencil Lip Liner. And just going to very slightly overdraw my lips, as I normally do, just on the outer corners, just so that they look lined up and even. lipstick I'm going to use today is the Maybelline, what is this? Colour Sensational lipstick in the colour Orchid Ecstasy. And that's a beautiful purpley sort of tone. I'm just going to blot. And reapply. On some setting spray, as usual, the Australis Makeup Finishing Spritz. This lipstick colour is coming off so much pinker on camera, but it really is the colour of like orchids, like that really pretty orchidy pinky purple sort of colour. Let's pull our hair out. So guys, what do you think of the Vampy makeup tutorial? Let's do Vamp for V-Day, why not? So if you're going on a first date, or if you've been with your husband or partner or whatever for years, why not mix things up a little bit and look really sexy and sultry? I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I also want to say thanks to all my new subscribers. Hi and welcome to my channel. I hope you stick around because there's lots of fun to be had. And yeah, if you enjoyed this tutorial, give it a thumbs up. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye guys.